how this works. The first thing that I like to do is to put one color on one side of my lap and the other there. That wool is never going to tangle with this method. I've got one color in one hand. Maybe you're used to using your right hand, maybe you're a left-handed European knitter. I've wound the wool on my fingers so that there's tension holding the needles. If you have that tension, this method becomes incredibly easy. I'm going to start off by showing you how to make one stitch with either hand. That way, those of you who are right-handed have to learn how to knit with your left hand. Those of you who are left-handed have equally got to learn how to knit with your right hand. The right hand's often called British or American, the left hand often European or German. Not totally accurate, any of those terms, but this is going to be how it goes. I'm going to start with a right-handed stitch. You've got 4 different stitches to learn. Here's the first one. A right-handed stitch is made by inserting the needle into the first stitch, taking the wool behind and hooking it through. Let me do that again for those of you who are learning this way. I go into the stitch, around the back, and bring my first stitch through. I've made 2 stitches with my right hand. I can go on like this, but I don't want to have any floats. The method we're using shows a totally woven fabric in the back, and it's comfortable, nothing to catch your fingers in, and so easy to do. So that was your right-handed stitch. Now remember, you've got tension in the yarn. Let's just go over how we picked it up. I know you know how to hold your right-hand one if you're an American knitter, but your left-hand one, you're going to poke your finger towards yourself, turn your hand, and put that finger under so that the needles are now supported by the fingers. Left-hand stitch, second stitch. You go in just as you did before, and there are 2 ways of doing this. You can either knit with your left finger, making the stitch in exactly the same way as you did your right-handed stitch and bring it through, or you can do it as the Europeans do so incredibly fast, where they tip their needle over the wool and hook it through. Let me show you that again. Into the stitch, needle tip over the yarn, and hook it through. Now, this is time for you to practice. You're now at a position where you can knit 1 stitch with your right hand, 1 stitch with your left hand, 1 with your right, 1 with your left. On a graph, you're just knitting an XO, XO, XO pattern. Here it's red, blue, and it's time for you to do a little practicing before I teach you steps 3 and 4. I hope you enjoyed that.